Hello everyone, this is Mathematics and we are here with the first section of the second chapter, solving quadratic equations. Well, without further ado, I just want to introduce what a quadratic equation is. So, if you have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, then your equation is known as a quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. Right. And you have three ways of solving this. Well, we here said that a must not be equal to 0. So this is right. But what happens if b or c are equal to 0? Nothing happens, guys. It is still a quadratic and it can be solved. So the only importance is that a must not be equal to 0, or otherwise this is not a quadratic. So three ways of solving quadratic equations. Solving quadratic equations. The first way is by factorization, guys. Well, we talked about factorization in previous sessions, but I'm going to revise it very quick in this section, in this session as well. Factorization. The second one, it is formula, using the formula. And the last one, completing the square, which we learn in section 2 of this chapter. Okay, alright, let's dive into it. So, as for the factorization, guys, let me just label it. Factorization. Right. So, as for factorization, guys, let me find a clear color. Okay, alright. In factorization, you have a method named product sum, which we used in the previous sessions, but I said we are going to revise it very quick. So, if you have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, we said that a is not equal to 0. Then your product, let me just write the name here, product sum. Okay, here your product will be equal to AC and your sum will be equal to B. And you have to find a pair of numbers which have the product AC and have the sum B. Okay, then let's do an example. So, if you have x squared plus 5x, not really, 6x plus 5 equal to 0. So, how can you solve this? Product is equal to, here it is 1, right? The 1 is invisible. So, let me write it with another color. True. Product is 1 times 5, 5. And the sum is equal to 6. So, what are the two numbers whose product will be 5 and sum will be 6? It is obviously 1 and 5, right? So I can write it as x plus 1 times x plus 5 equal to 0. So x plus 1 is equal to 0 and x is equal to minus 1. X plus 5 equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 5. So x is equal to minus 1. X is equal to minus 5. Right. So let's do another example where a is not equal to 1 and it's equal to another number. So example. So, as for the next example, you have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equal to 0. So, here, what is your product? 2 times minus 3. It will be equal to minus 6. What is your sum? Minus 5. So, what are the two numbers whose product is minus 6 and sum is minus 5? Well, if you ask me, it's gonna be minus 6 and 1, right? True. So, guys, this is important. Minus 5x can be written as minus 6x plus x, right? So, I just write 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 in the form 2x squared minus 6x plus x minus 3 equal to 0. And we know that this is equal to minus 5x. And so, I factorize these two and then factorize these two. Okay? So, I'll have 2x times x minus 3 plus, and I write this one just as x minus 3. Like, you can say that I factorize the 1 from it. I just put them in the bracket. Equal to 0. And here I can factorize x minus 3. So everything will be all good, right? I have x minus 3 times 2x plus 1 equal to 0. So x minus 3 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 3. And here 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, so x is equal to minus 1 over 2. And as for my answers, x is equal to 3, x is equal to minus 1 over 2. So this is it. This is all that you needed to know for factorization, and just to master it, you have to do exercises, and I'll just leave it to you guys. So as for the next way to solve quadratic equations using the formula. So guys, the thing is that in IGCSE, you were given the formula, right? But here, you're not given the formula. In P1, in A level, you are not given the formula. You have to memorize it. And it's just not really hard. You can just memorize it very easily. So, let me just write the formula. I will write it with purple. So, if you have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, then your x will be equal to minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So, very important, guys. You have to remember this one. So, right. Let me just draw a cloud around it. So, it will just show off as important. So, just to do an example, we can, okay, right. We can use this one. Example. Solve the quadratic, quadratic equation 15x squared minus 2x minus 5 equal to 0, giving your value of x 2, 3, significant. Okay, significant figures. So we're just gonna solve it. Guys, when you see give your answer to 3 significant figures, you know that you are going to use the formula, because this is not gonna get solved by factorization or completing the square very easy. Or it can be solved by completing the square, we know that, but it's gonna be a little bit hard. I'm gonna tell you about completing the square in the next section and in the next session. But right now, without knowing completing the square and with just knowing the formula, we can easily solve this. So 15x squared minus 2x minus 5. So my a is equal to 15, my b is equal to minus 2, and my c is equal to minus 5. Okay, so by using formula, I know that my values of x will be minus 2, which is positive 2. So I just write it as it is. Plus or minus b squared, which is minus 2 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 15, times c, which is minus 5, over 2a, 2 times 15. So if I put that on the calculator, x is equal to. So, fraction, minus 2, positive 2, plus root, minus 2 squared. So I can just write it as minus 2 squared, or I could write 4, it doesn't matter. Minus 4 times 15 times minus 5. I can write it just like this without brackets because the calculator will recognize it, but you have to write it with brackets, the minus 5, inside the exam. So I just write minus 5 over 2 times 15. Okay, 0.648 to 3 significant figures, and here I just change the sign, and it is gonna be minus 0.515. And this is the second answer for my x, and in general, I have x is equal to 0.648, x is equal to minus 0.515 as for my answers to x. So this is it for this session, guys, and see you in the next session.